Hello! Welcome to The Healing Artist. I'm your host, Frida. Friends, I'm tired. Oh my goodness. There has been so much going on so far this November. Also, astrologically, things are cuckoo bananas. So, I let this podcast creep up on me, and it actually has to be released in less than 12 hours. So, well, we don't have to do anything, right? But I want to. So I've sat myself down and I pulled a card from my wonderful Diana Cooper Angels of Light Oracle deck. And the card is forgiveness. And I thought we would talk about forgiveness. I was like, Oracle deck, what are we doing? I need to make a podcast in 30 minutes or less. Let's do this. Well, we're going to talk about forgiveness. I don't plan these things. I follow some podcasting people on Threads, and they're giving out their tips and tricks for planning their seasons and what are you going to talk about and blah blah, and having Chat GPT help them plan out their seasons and all this stuff. And I'm like, I have never done that. I just sit behind the microphone and run my mouth. I don't have the patience, or I could not do that. I am not that person. If I can't show up with no makeup and just speak off the cuff, this ain't happening. It's a lot for me to just schedule guests and then meet with people. I do that because I genuinely enjoy it. And they don't get questions. We just have a conversation. Yeah, so we are 100% extemporaneous at The Healing Artist. Ooh, lordy Lou. Anyway, today we're at crunch time. It is later in the day. The sun is starting to go down. I sleep so much in the winter months. As soon as it gets dark, I try to eat the food that I'm going to consume much earlier in the day because I will be in bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And normally in the summer, I have a 9:30 bedtime, but it is, I sleep an hour longer in the winter, and it is not unheard of for me to be asleep by 8:30 p.m. And then I get up at 4 or 5:30 at the very latest. But yeah, I am in bed early these days. And I am just sleeping through the night. I am falling asleep and then I wake up in the morning. I don't dream. Do you dream? That's not entirely true. I do dream, but it's I'll have a notion of the dream. So I don't see pictures in my head. I'm one of the group of people that don't have images when they close their eyes. That has a name. Hold on, let me look it up on my phone. I'm not big into diagnoses, so I don't always I'm I don't want to own that. You know what I mean? When you're I have the following diagnosis, so now I own this certain thing. And it's I don't really want to own that. So, but it does have a word. What is it called? People who don't see images in their head. It's called apophasia. APHANTASIA. Apophasia. Yeah. People who cannot see images in their head have a condition called apophasia, which is a lack of voluntary mental imagery. Instead of a visual mind's eye, they may recall memories and facts and concepts and details without a visual component. While it can present challenges in certain tasks, it's considered a variation in human experience, not a disorder, and it's not something that typically requires treatment. Great. Thank you, AI. Anyway, yeah, I have that. And I don't know what life is like without it. When my spiritual gifts were starting to come online, I really wanted to be clairvoyant because I love movies. And I love how in movies they show psychics getting clairvoyant, like, or like, the way that they share it on television, it always seemed so exciting. And I was like, oh, my spiritual gifts are waking up. I can't wait to be able to see images in my head and all of that kind of fun stuff. But that's not the way that I receive information. I'm clairaudient, so I hear or I allow words to be spoken out through my mouth. So I allow spirit to speak through me, or I just hear and translate. And also clairsentient, so I feel in my body. And I also get claircognizant, so that's just knowing, a clear knowing. So I'll just kind of have a notion or understanding of what's going on with someone. Anyway, the smelling one is super fun. Every once in a blue moon, I get the smells. It's happened like 12 times or something over the last 5 years. And the taste one, I don't think I've ever experienced the taste one. But every once in a very, very, very blue moon, I will have some sort of visual thing happen, and I get extremely excited about it. But in general, I think I have apophasia. But yeah, I have seen some supernatural things with my actual eyeballs. One time I saw my friend, we were sitting having a conversation, and she was sitting in front of a white wall, and I saw her soul disconnect from her body and float out. She came out and came untethered and floated over here from her body, and then came back in halfway. And that's how I realized my friend doesn't sit into her body, and I got a clear understanding so that when I work with other people, I can feel into if people aren't truly connected to their bodies. That's often when I lead classes or meditations, I say, put your fingers in your fingers, put your toes in your toes. Because like, often when we have childhood trauma or just trauma in our lives, especially when we're young, we learn how to do this. We disassociate from our physical forms, and we'll just like float away, or be halfway connected, or be sort of off to the side, or not fully in our bodies. And I was a childhood trauma survivor, and I had to learn how to sit into the seat of myself and be in my body. It is much easier to be disconnected from our physical forms and floating around because it feels good. And to truly be in the body, there's so much information to be had in our physical temples that it's important that we stay in here. I mean, we came to Earth for a reason. We came to Earth to be embodied. Like, we spend plenty of time not in a physical body. So we might as well enjoy this body, in this life, in this moment, in this time, right now. Because there is only this moment right now. Why disassociate away? Let's be in here now. Okay, forgiveness. This is a good segue because we're going to talk about forgiveness through the lens of my life experiences, and part of that is being a childhood trauma survivor. So first, I'm going to read you the angel card. And thank you, Diana Cooper. I really like this deck. Forgiveness. Angel wisdom reminds you that challenging people and situations are sent to you as your most important teachers. Without them, your soul would not grow. Your guidance is to let go of the hurt, resentment, and anger of the past. When you forgive others and yourself, your karma is rubbed out of your soul records. You will enjoy love in your heart and lightness of spirit. Ask the angels to help you dissolve your hurt, anger, and guilt. They will take your burdens from you. When you love unconditionally, there is nothing to forgive. Love is forgiving, so open your heart and give love. And the affirmation on the card is, I forgive myself and others. I am free. I am free. I love forgiveness. And I think forgiveness is an incredibly beautiful thing. And I will speak to it from my lens of life experience. one of the hardest things I've had to learn in my life is not forgiveness of people who have hurt me, but honestly, for forgiveness of myself. Some of the hardest things to forgive myself for are that I still struggle with to this day are around my productivity. Oh, did you do enough? Oh, God. And maybe you've seen this one before on a t-shirt or a wall plaque. But we are not human doings. We are human beings. It is for us to learn to sink into just being. Because in the quiet and the stillness and the boredom and the sitting and the quieting of the mind, that is the being, that is the getting into and sinking into the next aligned action step, the thing. But we can't hear it. We can't truly feel. We can do, and muscle our way through our lives, but there is such an easier way to do this, and that is to breathe into our lives and to just relax into them and allow the universe to bring us the next aligned action step and the next aligned action step and the next aligned action step. Being raised in America, man, this is not what we are taught. This is a really big program that most of us have running inside of us. It is something that we need to learn to decondition away from. So that's self-forgiveness, forgiveness around my productivity, forgiveness around diet and exercise, forgiveness around ladylike qualities that perhaps at one point, I'm trying to find it because this doesn't even live in my body anymore, but to be a woman of my age meant, I remember around college, I didn't choose to go to graduate school, and I felt mildly like a failure. I didn't choose to go to graduate school because my undergrad was paid for by my parents. And if I wanted to go to grad school, I was going to pay for it by myself. And I was just like, I'm a visual artist. And at the time, I would have gone on to get a master's in portrait painting. That was the direction I was headed in. And I was like, how the hell am I going to pay off a master's degree in portrait painting from the University of the Arts, or there was this new school in Philadelphia that was a portrait painting school that was just coming into existence that I was thinking about. I had applied to these schools, and it was I don't know how I'm going to pay for these things. We didn't ever have I never could get a scholarship. I wasn't smart enough, good enough, or any of those things to get a scholarship. We never were poor enough. We always had enough. So it was yeah, I'm not going to go pay. I can't pay for this. And I didn't want to start my life off in debt. So I was just yeah, we're not doing that. Okay, but I had to forgive myself, man, because all my friends went on and got their masters. I think that I'm one of the only ones of my friend group that did not. And there was a small part of me that kind of felt a failure for about 10 years. But after 10 years working in the event planning industry, and I was working for millionaires and millionaires' homes, and any kind of thinking that I had life experience beyond, I was making money, all of that. And it was sort of yeah, I made up for this. The people's homes I've been in, and the work that I've done, and the cool things I've seen, and awesome projects that I've been a part of, and that kind of thing, it well made up for the fact that I didn't go get a graduate degree in portrait painting. Honestly, it seriously was one of these things that there was a period of time where it felt like it was important to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just to be able to be on a date with a dude, just to say, oh yeah, well, I got my master's at. Just because that was kind of the conversation that was had at dinner, especially when I was dating, in my early 20s. And Yeah, after about 10 years, I was able to forgive myself for that. And like, part of that was like a lot of the friends that I had probably still have college debt because they were coming out of school with like 250K debt. That's crazy. It's insane. I can't imagine. So I truly can't imagine. Also, for what it's worth, just riffing, I think that we should forgive all state school debt. I can't speak to private colleges. I feel like, yeah, student loan forgiveness and all that kind of things. I feel like I should elaborate. Anybody that gets rooked into some craptacular student loan thing and they thought they had to go to college and got roped into that and tricked, anybody that got tricked and has to pay all of that stuff, please erase those student debts. Please, please, please. I think we should have free college or very reasonably priced affordable college. And I also think that it's fine if there's still private schools and if there's some form of status that needs to be achieved because people love that. Human beings love that kind of crap. Let them have that. That's fine. that can be okay. But there also should be places where people can go get an education that is reasonably priced. I went to a state school, and the school that I went to, after I got out just as Bush was coming into office, and like, I don't know, the kids that came after me, that school that I went to, Tyler School of Art, got very expensive, like stupid expensive, and that's not right. It was expensive and just fine when I went there. It didn't need to become as expensive as it got. That's not fair. So, yeah, things should be reasonably priced, so that people can afford them. It's ridiculous. Anyway, where were we? Erase college debt. It's okay. We can still have rich people. We just don't have to have the most ridiculously rich people in the world. But there can still be rich people. That's fine. It's fine. People want different things in life. And some people come to Earth and want to have a life where they're rich. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's more than enough for everyone. And it's important that everyone has all of their basic needs met and has the ability to have a good life for themselves if they want. And like, a lot of those things are unobtainable at this moment in time, it feels like, for a lot of people. And like, in order to do the work and able to shift the mindset out of that poverty mindset, there needs to be some form of safety net so that people could even begin to think in that direction. There is a lot of privilege in being able to do the work that I do. And I had a lot of support because I was taken care of. I've been taken care of my entire life. If I didn't have that kind of support and I had to be scraping by for my just existence, I would not be where I am now. So we've never lived beyond our means. And like, for me to go to graduate school would have been me living beyond my means because I couldn't just pay for it. So I didn't, because I didn't want to be in debt. I've never bought a car that I couldn't just pay for. Like, I've never done anything that I can't just pay for the most part. So it's like, I will save for something and then pay for it, as opposed to being in debt over time in order to do it. Business people don't think that way. They take risks and spend ahead of time and then pay things off. I'm just sharing the way that I was raised. This is rambling. Today it's rambling. We are talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness. I am a childhood sexual abuse survivor, and I knew something bad happened to me, but I didn't fully understand it. It did set me up, though, for not being okay. It set me up for disassociating at school. I'm bad at my lessons and my spelling and math and all of that kind of stuff, especially that really early stuff. It took me a really long time to learn how to read because I was freaking traumatized and out of my body. I had a hard time. I had a hard childhood. I had a hard time. Yeah, it wasn't good. I had a lot of coping mechanisms that were not healthy, and what happened to me between the ages of 5 and 7 for that period of time. And it set me up for, I guess the word I would use is failure, because I couldn't perform. I couldn't do the things that other kids did because I was messed up inside. I thought I was evil, and I thought something was terribly wrong with me, like I was rotten from the inside out because of the abuse that had happened to me. And I didn't tell my parents about it until I was 11 years old because I didn't really understand what had happened to me. We had sex ed at school, and I was like, I see. This was wrong. I knew it, but I didn't know it. So then I just closed, and that's when I began my journey of therapy. And I had 13 years of weekly psychiatry visits. I had group therapy. My parents did nothing but believe me and hopped on that train, and I had a lot of therapy. Notebook after notebook, after journal, after journal, after journal, after journal. Boxes and boxes and boxes. I was dedicated to my healing. I was so angry. And I had to go through every stage of grief and throw paint at walls and be rage-filled and furious, and like the amount of work that I did to bring myself through that abuse that had happened to me, no one except myself will ever really understand or know. But it finally did get to the point where I was able to forgive my abuser, the man that abused me. And to be completely and totally fair, that they were older than me, but they weren't a man. They would have still been called a child. But I was 5, and they were significantly older than I was. So to me, they were enormous. But in a court of law, they would have been a juvenile. And they didn't just do what they did to me out of the blue. They had also been abused, so they were repeating the abuse. And I was able to forgive them eventually, but I was furious for 13 plus years. Yeah. And then I was able to forgive them. So what's interesting about this card, what I would say about forgiveness is possible. And I love focusing on our self-forgiveness. That one's, I think, really, really good. And really, how can we forgive ourselves? Oh, I ate too much. Let me forgive myself. Like there's way, like working on our own personal forgiveness. But I want to talk about forgiving others really honestly takes time, I feel like. And sometimes in the spiritual world, that like, oh, just forgive them, just forgive it. Oh, let it be, forget it, forgive them, let them be, all of that. And it's like, I feel like you have to go through the stages of grief, wailing, shaking your fists, being angry, being sorrowful, feeling sorry for yourself, like everything, all of it is valid. I think those steps are important to actually truly get to forgiveness. And like, that's human. Because to go through all of those stages are releasing all of the different trapped emotions within our body and honoring every aspect and part of ourselves as we move through it towards forgiveness, so that the forgiveness is real. So that it's honest and truthful, and it's not just words, so that it's somatically felt within the body, so that it's truly, truly lived in experience of truly forgiving. But I also believe that God and that the angels and that God, universe, source, whatever higher power being, like something larger than us, creator, divine. I like to just use the word God because it's easy. I don't connect it to religion at all. It's easy for me though. God, yes, fine, great. God can help take that kind of weight off of our shoulders. God can help carry the load with us. God can help the burdens fall so that forgiveness can begin to open up, so that the heart expansion can come in and you can feel the forgiveness running through your veins and truly allow it to integrate into your body. Forgiveness doesn't just happen. I truly believe it takes time. And when people use their mouths to just forgive, like, oh, I forgive you, and da-da-da, especially like the quickness, the quick, fast turnovers, I just wonder how real that is. I would question it, because I do believe that things require sitting into and feeling through to truly release, to really expansively walk through all of the emotional states related to what you're going through to arrive at forgiveness. So I'm just going to read part of the card again. Angel wisdom reminds you that challenging people and situations are sent to you as your most important teachers. Without them, your soul would not grow. Great. We've absorbed that one. You got that part? Everybody's got challenging teachers. I know you can think of some right now off the top of your head, I'm sure. Your guidance is to let go of the hurt, resentment, and anger of the past. Are there any areas in your life where you're carrying hurt, resentment, or anger? Can you think of any? Are there any big ones that pop up into your mind right away? Why don't you pick one of them? And maybe we can do a little heart opening around it right now together. So pick one of these things. What's the first one that pops into your mind? What are you angry from the past? What are you resentful from the past? Where were you so hurt from the past? Let's just place our hands on our heart here and take a few deep breaths together. Oh, just feeling into your body. Where is the hurt, the resentment, or the anger? Find it. See if you can find it within your body. Let's go to it, placing our attention on that area of our body, if you can find it. I'm just going to say a prayer. God, universe, source, angels, come lift this anger, lift this hurt, this burden, lift this pain of the past, this anger, this resentment, this past burning coal. Help lift it out of our body, pluck it out of us and take it, for we can no longer hold this, please. Take this out of our body, and I just want you to breathe into the area and let's just allow it to be removed and released. Asking the angels to fill this area that is now empty, this place where this pile of coal has been removed, this burning, this hurt, this resentment, this anger that has been lifted out, that is taken out, turned to dust, recycled, and returned to the earth, where it is returned to the earth to be recycled for the highest good of all. placing this beautiful white, pearlescent, iridescent, this healing pearl around this area in your body. And just bringing in the highest vibrational light of source that you can hold at this time and just blowing it into the pearl. And allowing that beautiful mist to fill in, soothe from the inside out. It's like putting a healing gauze, a patch. This beautiful pearl. And allow this to stay as long as it needs to, as long as that hurt needs to take to arrive at forgiveness. And may you wake up one day and be able to forgive, and the pearl will pop and leave your body. But allowing this integration period, it doesn't have to happen in a snap. It doesn't have to be instantaneously. Allowing whatever time it takes for you to truly forgive. And just sitting here in this energy for a moment. We're just going to bring through a little light language for this wound as well. Ayana kamaya sanatia nakataya nanamoya shanana kataya mayana aya. Oshana maya taya kataya namaya nakaya mana ama. Oshana maya kataya naya mayana. Onandaya nakaya mayania. It's just like putting this plaster, like the pearl is a plaster, a healing plaster, just right over top. Ah, my friends, I could go on and on. Forgiveness is such an amazingly big, deep topic, just so much. Thanking my guidance to come through there. Sometimes I'm just like, and keep going. No, but thank you for doing the healing. Thank you for working with the people. We don't work in this like vacuum of barreling forward. I have to remind myself sometimes to be like, stop, say thank you. So yeah, truly, truly feeling into that. And allowing wherever you are along the stage of whatever you're upset about, or if there is something you're upset about, or if there's an old wound, wherever it is, like, it's okay. Just like, there isn't a time frame for needing to forgive. You will know when something gets to the point where it's become destructive or turned against you. The energy changes. But what we don't want to do, I personally feel like, is just blow it off and forgive too quickly. Because a lot of the past Instagram-y style, guru style is just forgive, without truly running the course of the feelings and releasing all of the previous emotional blocks around it, and like just really, truly integrating that forgiveness. Mind, body, spirit, fully running through your veins so that you feel that forgiving. There is where the real true, the juice of the lightness and that honest opening, heart opening are. But like, there's stages to get there. It isn't just forgive and it's done. Am I making sense to you? This is one of those ones where it's more work than you think it is. And if you dismiss it, there's a pretty good chance you're bypassing it. Sometimes it hurts to be honest about the things that have hurt us, the things that we need to forgive ourselves for, the things that we would be forgiving others for. And this isn't always about necessarily like going out there and telling someone you're sorry. It's running this forgiveness so that you feel it within your own nervous system. talking about you. It's great to go out and forgive other people when it's something that you feel inclined to do. I myself recall calling my abuser on the phone and from childhood, and I said I forgave him. And he said either okay or thank you, and I hung the phone up. Like, it was not a long conversation, but I did do that. He was a victim too. And here's something interesting. I'm going to actually ask, have I fully forgiven his abuser? Yeah, I'm hearing yes. It's interesting. So then the person that abused my abuser also abused me. This person took me a really, really, really long time to forgive. And like my abuser that abused me as a child, I can understand them and how the abuse cycle was perpetuated. I can understand that. I have never been able to understand her, the one that did the original abusing. I don't get it. I do not get it at all. An adult woman hurting a baby and a young boy and others, many others. They were a spectacular catalyst for people to have to do their inner work in their life, that's for sure. They took me a really, really, really long time to kind of, I guess I want to say, come to neutral with. And I'm not entirely sure that I am. I think they're still living. Although I had an incident where I thought they might have died because the energy came and told me something, but I don't think they're totally dead. I feel like I would have seen something. I don't know, you guys. What I do know is that every once in a while I have a fantasy of showing up at their funeral and giving some form of shocking, nasty eulogy. So I'm not entirely sure that I have fully gotten to forgiveness. You know what? That's okay. I'm a human being. I forgive myself for not fully being at the altar of surrendered open heart to this abuser. Oh, you guys, it's a journey. It's a journey. I can't believe this is for tomorrow. It's late and I need to edit it. Guys, I wanted to tell you that I love you. God, universe, source loves you. And you're already perfect, my friends. You are already perfect wherever you are along the path. Whatever you're doing, my dears, you are already okay right now. There's ways that we can do our healing work in order to learn how to puppet this body better. Puppet isn't the right word. Pilot. How can we pilot our bodies better? How can we live this human vessel and this human temple that we're in and live this experience with more ease and flow? Those are all wonderful things to welcome into our lives, but there's nothing wrong with you. Okay? Don't let people tell you there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just a soul having a human experience, and sometimes it's messy. But I deeply, truly, when I tell you that I love you, I mean that. I love you. I love you. And God loves you. And the universe has your back, and it loves you. Source energy loves you. You are beloved. You are beloved beyond your wildest imagination. You are magnificent beyond anything that you could ever understand. You're a beautiful, unique, incredible creature. And there's only one of you in the entire world, and you're amazing. So get going. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. And when the time is right, it's a nice practice to forgive others as well. It truly is. All right, my friends. Time to go. Bye.